I woke up covered in my own blood. It was crazy.
I've heard some crazy Will Smith stories.
It's over. We apparently blew that old guy up. He gone. The Ayatollah, Khamenei, he's dead.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Y'all, we got a good one coming up today. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. That really helps the channel grow. But with that being said, let's get into it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
His boss said he woke up covered in his own blood.
I woke up covered in my own blood. It was crazy. It was fast. It was instant. There was no warning. I didn't have any time to prepare for it. I was getting ready to go on a date with my wife, and the next thing you know, I was on the ground. I won't get into specifics, but you can kind of see I'm still recovering. I'm not going to try to hide that one in case I look different, but it was a scary thing, and it came fast, and it made me really have a different outlook on life and how things go, what we do for ourselves, what we do for our family, how we live our lives.
I think it's called like Little St. James or something.
Little St. James. What'd you find?
You're not going to say anything though, right?
I'm not gonna say. I've only been to Pizza Pie over there.
You never been out? Huh?
I've only been to Pizza Pie.
Pizza pie? Hey, how's it going?
Pie.
Pizza pie? What does that mean? Wait, hold on.
At Little St. James, there's Pizza Pie.
But you didn't have that though. But you...
I hope you found something good.
I don't know. She's scaring me.
You should be scared if you were there.
Wait, what the...
Does this woman realize what she's saying? I'm not sure if she was just trying to troll, but we've seen the emails and we've seen how many times that word has been mentioned. So who knows? She seemed pretty adamant that they serve pizza on that island, and the fact it was mentioned over 900 times in the files. And then she goes on to threaten the guy about, you should be scared if you ever went there. Definitely suspicious. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
This is Chester T. Chemp. He belonged to a kid. This was given to him by his grandmother. His parents didn't like it because it made so much noise. But then the grandmother passed away, and then soon after, the child passed away. Everyone handles grief their own way. They left the room exactly the way it was. Then one night, all of a sudden, they heard clamping of the cymbals, woke up, and there was smoke in the house. They ran out swearing that their child, through the monkeys, saved their life. This story was told to me by a firefighter in Tulare. At the end of the story, I told him, thank you. And then he said, no, I can one-up that. And he gave me the monkey. It's one of the prized possessions I have in my collection that I love people to see, seeing that just because it's haunted doesn't mean it's scary.
Project Medusa, where you basically use the Frey effect to implant sounds in people's heads. I believe that was discontinued in 2008 out of concerns that it was causing brain damage. During this time as well, the Russians were probably still continuing their efforts. In 2003, they had a scientist attend the second annual European Symposium on Non-Lethal Weapons, in which he presented research that he was using microwaves to affect the autonomic nervous system. And then in 2008, they had passed this technology along to the Chinese. So then fast forward to kind of the more public time with Havana in 2016, where numerous diplomats experienced Havana syndrome. And then later, the Russians and the Chinese publicly acknowledged that they have been working on these capabilities and that they intended to incorporate them into their military doctrine. The Chinese call it the neurostrike weapons, which encompasses all different types of aspects that target the mind, whether that is something like the directed energy, whether that's something like psyops, maybe TikTok.
Bro, because I'm finna start crying because there's no way that they are playing with us like this. There's no way that they're playing with us like this. This is not Jim Carrey. I feel like we're at the end of the world or something because they're not playing with us like this. This is not Jim Carrey. It reminds me of this and this. And this, and this, and this. I'm finna wrap myself like a burrito in tinfoil and just... This is for entertainment purposes and all legend, in my opinion, is First Amendment claim.
I keep seeing videos about how our timelines are all messed up, like how I didn't know that woolly mammoths were around at the same time that the pyramids were being built, but there's actually so many other weird overlaps that are blowing my mind. Like how Dali died the same year that Daniel Radcliffe was born. And even weirder, Eminem and Picasso were alive at the same time for 2 years. Rosa Parks lived long enough to be able to see the first 2 Shrek movies in theaters. And let's not forget that in her lifetime, she actually sued the band Outkast. When the Declaration of Independence was being signed, no one knew that dinosaurs even existed. Like, dinosaurs had actually not been discovered yet. And let's not forget that Cleopatra was born closer to the invention of the iPhone than to the actual pyramids being built. This one sounds fake, but is totally real. The last person to collect a pension from the Civil War died the year that Obama took office. And finally, the oldest tree alive today was around at the time of woolly mammoths. And not only that, but when the last woolly mammoth died, this tree was already 1,000 years old. And before we dive in, if you love the spooky and dark, you'll love the podcast.
Exactly. Google Jeffrey Epstein first. Somebody's playing with him.
Man, you gotta think better than that.
So I got conned, basically.
Yes.
Bruh. Not real?
No, we're even fucking close. You gave her some money?
No.
That was the dude who was taking the little girls to the island.
That's the racist man, ain't it? How old are you, baby?
I'm 23.
Let's say Epstein. I'm just like, oh, Epstein's dying.
They told him to come here for a date. A date? Look at what they called it.
When this guy decided to climb down into the abandoned telescope, he had no idea he'd soon regret it. At first, everything seemed simple. He was slowly and carefully sliding down, and for the first few seconds, he even thought it was a good idea. But then he realized he'd made a mistake. Inside, the telescope turned out to be anything but a straight and simple tunnel. There were really narrow sections, sloped areas, and small labyrinths that led him deeper and deeper. And at some point, the scariest thought hit him. He no longer knew how to get back up. It wasn't completely dark inside, but everything was covered in dust and grime and looked abandoned. It was genuinely terrifying. He tried to find a way out, but the more he moved, the more disoriented he became. In the end, he had no choice left. He had to stay inside and spend the whole night there, because he never found the exit. He sat among the cold metal and dirt, hearing every rustle and jumping at every sound. It was not until the following morning that he eventually discovered the correct path forward and managed to successfully make his escape.
Some of you are about to have your minds completely blown, especially if you have never seen the selective attention test. We're going to watch a video in which a group of people pass a pair of basketballs back and forth, and all I need you to do is watch very carefully and count how many passes were made by people wearing white. It sounds extremely simple and easy, but statistically about half of you are going to freak out when I show you the actual result. Here we go. Only passes by subjects in white count. Watch carefully. The correct number of passes was 15, but I lied. That actually is not the point of the experiment. Statistically, about half of you did not notice that 10 seconds into the video, a guy in a gorilla costume walked in, pounded his chest, and then walked out. That test was developed by Christopher Chabris and Daniel Simons, and part of what they found is that when people fail to see the gorilla, they tend to assume it was all a hoax until shown the original video again.
No, this is so.
This one place right here is.
It's not on Google Earth though. It's not on Google Maps. You won't see any marker of it. But I was able to do some digging because of the guy who took me through the site. I meet this random guy, Luis. Luis is amazing. He's a farmer, right, right here. I freaked him out. He thought I was coming to rob him because he gets robbed often, apparently.
Oh boy!
But he walked me through the site, and this one. Okay, if you pause it, that right there on the bottom right is another one of those temples with the sunken plaza, except that one has monoliths.
Can I tell you
the fact that, now I'm not going to sit here and say the Earth's flat, the Earth's round, whatever, but the fact that they are able to, and that they do, take out places in Google Maps and add places in Google Maps that do and don't exist. We just don't know. We just don't know where it ends, where it starts, and we just don't know what to believe because they just don't tell us the truth.
The Castaways. 1965, 6 boys decide to skip school. What they choose to do is go fishing, but they don't have a boat. So they steal a boat. Storm comes in. They end up near a island that they see in the distance. They abandon the ship and they go to this island. They are stuck on this island for 15 months. They get really desperate. They figure out, we have to survive. We have to get through this together. And so one of the nights, one of the boys started a fire. They kept this fire running for over a year. They started eating on fish, seagulls, and then one day, 15 months later, this lobster captain literally just sees this island. He sees a bunch of naked boys on this island. And he literally gets out his binoculars and they're waving at him. And he goes up and he radios back. And he says, hey, they're telling me this is their names. Can you give me any information? And then they come back on the intercom and say, those are our boys. We've been told that they were dead.
Yeah,
we've had
presumed
funerals. And so they get the boys back on the boat and they throw a huge celebration. They couldn't attend the celebration they had for him because apparently the guy whose boat they stole was suing them.
There's no sign of George. No fingerprints, no visible trails, nothing. 18-year-old George Smythe set out for a hike near Bran Castle in Romania. In the middle of him doing this, all of a sudden he started to feel a little sick. He started to feel like he was getting hypothermia. So what he did was he called the emergency hotline and told them, hey, I'm freezing. I'm cold, I don't feel well. I have made it to Dracula's castle, but I'm going to go inside of it and rest a bit. Mind you, this castle is abandoned. Nobody lives in the castle at all. And so they go there and there's no sign of George.
Built on a former Confederate Army base. It is bigger than Warner Brothers, Paramount, and Sony combined. He produces shows for BET, Netflix, and OWN. That's Oprah's network. His Medea franchise alone made hundreds of millions of dollars. Forbes confirmed his billionaire status. Oprah has praised him publicly. He is held up as proof that a black man can build a full empire in Hollywood. Who is Jaguar Wright? Jaguar Wright is a singer and industry insider who has spent years calling out powerful people in the entertainment world. She does not take payouts. She does not go quiet. She has talked about Whitney Houston, Aaliyah, and Diddy, years before any official investigation or arrest came through. Every single time, people called her crazy. Every single time, she turned out to be telling the truth. She has been warning people about Tyler Perry specifically for years, saying she saw him at Diddy's private parties and that he runs a protection system inside the industry. Him untouchable. Why does this matter right now? 2 federal lawsuits are active as of February 2026. $337 million in combined damages. Real text messages submitted as evidence. Court documents with specific dates, locations, and names. Tyler Perry is still working, still producing, and mainstream media is barely saying a word about it. That silence? That is exactly what Jaguar Wright has been trying to expose. And that is where our story really begins. The first lawsuit, Derek Dixon and $260 million. June 2025. An actor named Derek Dixon, who played a character on Tyler Perry's show The Oval, filed a $260 million sexual harassment and assault lawsuit against Tyler Perry. Dixon claims that Perry climbed into his bed uninvited while he was sleeping at his guest house, that Perry pushed him up against the wall inside his own trailer on set, that Perry sent him a constant stream of sexual text messages over a long period of time. These are real texts that are in the lawsuit. One of those texts from Perry to Dixon reads, "What's it going to take for you to have guiltless sex? Have you all found that yet in therapy?" That is a direct quote from the lawsuit. But there's a second text that's even more disturbing. Perry allegedly wrote, "I love killing a motherfucker in a show that no one expects."
I realize.
Like, these are the monsters in Hollywood, y'all. These are they call them gatekeepers, right? They're the gatekeepers. They're the ones at the gate to get into Hollywood. If you don't do these things, that guy's probably out of Hollywood. If you don't do these things, and these things are well known, it's just that they're the gatekeepers. They're the ones that run the show. Until the real gatekeepers that run the show that keep them outside of the real gate, right? When they're done with them, those are the ones. They're the pawns, y'all, for the real gatekeepers. They're the pawns that when they're done with them, those are the ones that get arrested. Those are the Diddy's. Those are the Harvey Weinsteins. Those are the R. Kellys. Those are these, right? So those are the gatekeepers, y'all. These are the things you got to do to get into Hollywood. These are your favorite celebrities. These are your favorite musicians. These are the things they do, and they're not the ones that go and sue. These are the ones that are just okay with it.
That God is the air that I breathe, that I'm not even responsible for my own consciousness, my own sense of being aware. I'm not responsible for that. This substance, this thing right here, this, whatever this is, this right here, we think it's air. But I realize that if I stop, close my nose and mouth for 4 minutes, if I'm separated from this substance for 4 minutes, my heart don't stop. My brain don't even stop. My body functions don't stop. The first thing I lose is consciousness. I pass out. I can no longer stay aware. So I started to say, well, wait a minute. I'm not just breathing in air. I'm breathing in consciousness. I'm inhaling and exhaling God itself. And this air is conscious. That linked me up with quantum physics, where they got the new string theory and how strings are vibrating in certain ways and gives you air, or gives you a tree, or gives you a human being. That everything is conscious. Not just the life that I have, but the clothes that I'm wearing, the air, everything is conscious on some level. It is vibrating. It has a purpose. It has a point. It has a point of view. Everything. So I began to see God as everything. Everything is God.
You ever seen a movie called Gremlins?
No, I haven't.
Google it. So you can see the demons that I saw. Whoever made that movie is in touch with the devil, because those creatures that was on that movie were standing in front of me. They ran up. It was the same height as me, but their legs were bent. They wasn't straight. They were bent backwards. One grabbed him. He fell face first on the ground in hell, right at my feet. One gremlin ran up and grabbed him his back, grabbed his pants leg on the back, and one grabbed his right shoulder because he was laying on his face first on the ground. And that demon looked me in my face and telepathically said to me, there's nothing you can do about this. This has happened already. And just grinned. And it went all the way up here when he grinned. And they drug him off. They drug him. They went just to the right. And when they went to the right, in front of me, the Lord allowed me to stay there for a few more seconds, and I saw two different torments.
Like, what would your last meal be? Oh, brother, probably a fully loaded deep dish pizza. I love all kinds of pizza. Yeah.
Hillary, you are next. Name the most mischievous thing Chelsea did as a teenager in the White House.
My answer was order pizza, and here's what I mean by that.
Chelsea, your mother often babysits for you. What does she do that you don't approve of?
Pizza for lunch and dinner every day.
Pizza for lunch and dinner every day. But there's more to it than just that, guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, the place was filled with her friends. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's true that, you know, the White House does like to prepare all the food. And the kids were not always enthusiastic about the food that they were being served. So they were always trying to call for pizzas. And you can't order a pizza to the White House. I'll just tell you that right now. And we didn't. Sometimes there were exceptions. Yeah, sometimes you could go out maybe, and one of the kids could go out maybe and meet the and pick it up. Yeah, the pizza driver. Yeah, but the first time you would have thought that, you know, war had been declared. There's a pizza truck outside that says a pizza was ordered. What do we do with it? Yeah, we had lots of challenges.
So we're going to keep going because I have something explosive to show you. But guys, in light of what she just said, when we go back to Pizzagate, right? When they're all ordering pizza, it's always pizza, and that's even what Chelsea Clinton was ordering. All of those things, right? Well, remember, she also said that, well, you're not allowed to bring in outside food, which I've told you guys. But then when we go back into Pizzagate, into Hillary Clinton's leaked email server, what does this say? What does this say? It says, look. Oh my goodness. Subject, get ready for Chicago Hot Dog Friday. I think Obama spent about $65,000 of the taxpayers' money flying in pizza and dogs, hot dogs, from Chicago for a private party at the White House not long ago. Assume we're using the same channels? Huh? And then the response says, to celebrate all you hot dogs out there, Eric, you can participate as well. Are we using the same channels? Oh, guys, if we were to go down those files, well, it would take us it would take us weeks.
You know what? Since everybody's talking about the Epstein file release, I would love to address everybody on here who's saying, oh my God, we had no idea. We had no clue. That's not true. Do you guys remember Hillary's emails and how everyone was so upset and they're like, oh my God, like, stop talking about it. It's just email, LOL. Wrong. Didn't you guys ever think it was weird that she deleted all these emails, that everyone was in an uproar about it and the media kept trying to spin it? This is why we kept bringing it up. This email specifically is one I cannot get over.
Uber service to transport Ruby, Emerson, and Mauve 11, 9, and almost 7, almost 6. So you'll have some further entertainment and they will be in the pool for sure. Go ahead, spin that. Spin that in an appropriate way. What do you think that means? Keep in mind, this is a real email. Like, let's really think about this for a second. This is a perfect example of, like, we've been trying to say something, but a lot of you scream conspiracy theory or witch hunt. You don't listen. The general public is just as bad as the media when it comes to covering things up. You guys had the opportunity to learn, and you didn't allow it. You guys still do it today. So it's like, don't cry, oh no, I didn't know.
Now we're going to get to Hillary Clinton.
Explain this. Different year, different event. Same two people. Over and over. When does that stop being random?
I didn't know. I mean, think about. I can't say because I don't have many. On analytics on YouTube, it tells me the age bracket. But I'm going to speak for the older generation. Me dealing with them, like helping them with electronics. Right? They don't want to learn. They don't want to learn. They're just like, do it for me, right? Do it for me. Like here, set my phone up for me. Instead of like, here, let me teach you how to do it. It's just do it for me, right? Like they don't want to learn about these things in these emails or these things going on with Iran or, learning about these things. And that's the older generation. And that's why the media still has so much control over the masses, y'all, because people don't want to learn. Even the younger generation, y'all, they want to learn what they want to learn. They don't want to learn the truth. They want to learn what they believe in. They want to learn what their team says, right? They don't want to learn what is right. They want to learn, this is what my team says. This is what my football team says. This is what my team in the Super Bowl is saying. I bet $1 million on this team, so whatever they say, they are right. Whatever this team says, I don't care what they say, they are wrong, right? They don't sit at it from the middle and just try to look at it from the outside looking in, right? And that's the problem. That's the problem with everything.
Was doing all this to all of us.
It's Pixar and Cartoon Network that are the real culprits here.
Have you seen Dexter's mom?
Exactly.
I was unfamiliar with her game.
She's got a waist the size of a wrist and a dump truck.
Yeah, I didn't know it, but I was like, I like Dexter. I don't know why I like Dexter. And then the mom would come on and
my son is 4 years old and he's like, Miss Incredible's got a big butt, so it begins.
Rampart is 6.5 square miles of radius, right? 60 games in 6.5 square miles. 168 homicides in 1 year. The research also indicates that in 1991, 1992, which was the riots, right, and 1993, there was over 1,000 homicides in each year citywide. And these are all gang-on-gang related. So kind of picture and visualize you being a police officer working the streets in Rampart, 77, Southeast, Southwest, Hollenbeck. I have a sergeant colleague of mine who I worked for who said he was the watch commander at Rampart. Within the first 3 hours, he had 4 homicides. 3 hours into the shift. So how do you work in that environment? What are the rules? What is the culture?
Did you know there's that lifestyle, maybe back in the 80s and 90s, even then, but maybe back then because there was just no, I'm just going to say there was no knowledge out there. There was no, I don't know, but like now in 2025, 2026, there's so much ways to make money. Like, now you knew back then too, but even like more now, death or jail. That's it. Nobody's making money living that lifestyle. Like, I don't understand the people that are, living that lifestyle and not even making money, y'all. Like, I don't get it. I don't get people fighting for a block that's not yours. And that lifestyle is just dead, y'all. That lifestyle is dead. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. Not in 2026, y'all. It just people that are living that's just, that is it's baffling, y'all, that people that are still going that route. It's crazy. This prison, lifestyle is still booming, y'all. That prison business is still booming in
Strange
2026.
coincidence around the U.S. men's gold medal winning hockey team. It's a connection to the Miracle team of 1980. You know, the team that beat the Russians. They even made a movie about it. Miracle, starring Kurt Russell. But how could the gold medal winners of this Olympics be connected to a team from 46 years ago? And a movie that's been out for 22 years. Well, here you go. In the movie, just like on any team, players try out and some make it and some don't. The movie Miracle is based on the facts. And the facts are, in the movie, they show a list of people getting cut. Look down at number 21. Hard to believe, right? And there you see him in the corner of your screen, a player from 1980 that was cut from the hockey team, Jack Hughes. How crazy is it that the gold medal winning final goal was made by none other than Jack Hughes? Yeah, go ahead and say it. It's just a coincidence, but could have been a whole lot of other names. So what do you think? I'm just happy that Jack
Big
Hughes
show,
of
y'all.
today.
It's a big show.
Did you know?
Lizard people live in underground
Yes,
tunnels.
my
What?
mum's actually seen a lizard person on the train.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm disturbed.
I believe in
I've
this.
never even heard of this.
What do you mean?
When even Gemma Collins' mum's seen one, that's when you know. I think I may have met one and not realised what it was at the time. Can they make you unwell? Because after I met this strange person, I end up really unwell for about 3 to 4 months solid.
Do you see a world where we backtrack from digital? Are we going to go back to pen and paper?
If the first biblical flood was a physical one, the second one is going to be an information one. There is now a continuously running arms race between attack and defense. It's going to be powered by AI, hopefully on both sides. Right now, biases towards the attacker. Hopefully we can change that. We're going to live in a future where these things are just constantly battling each other, data center on data center. So do we revert to pen and paper? Maybe I exit Wraithwatch one day. Do I ever want to see a phone again? I don't think so. I fantasize about the day where I can walk to Santa Monica Pier and just chuck this thing in the water.
I can't wait for that day too, man.
This is the type of
Careful what
place
you wish
I
for,
have
bro.
nightmares about. It's for sale right now in Texas and is less than $250,000 for a 5-bed, 5-bath, nearly 10,000 square foot home. And immediately when you arrive on the property, you're greeted by Lucifer's cousin or long lost brother. This is the inside of the
I mean, real quick, I say be careful what you wish for, you know what I mean? Because, you know, he's saying that while he's filming his podcast on a camera, he's driving his vehicle that's on a camera. His house that he lives in, his mansion, has cameras all over it, infrared cameras all over his house protecting. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds good, go chuck your phone, but his whole life is surrounded by surveillance, y'all. You know, like, so just be careful what you wish for. That's all I can say because we don't realize how much, yeah, social media, whatever, but we don't realize how good technology is too, right? You know, how much society has grown from that. And I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash from that. I'm sure a lot of our lives have changed. A lot of our lives have been saved from that technology without you guys probably even realizing it. Everyday life has been saved from that technology. That if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be here no more.
entrance.
Probably going
But
to get a
once
lot
you
of hate
walk
for that,
inside,
but
you're
that's the
greeted
truth.
by not one, not two, but But
Social
3
media is a
different
choice, y'all.
staircases. It reminds me of that game where you have to pick a door, but the catch is that only one of the doors leads to safety. Instead, it's pick a staircase. Here's the fireplace where you can get nice and cozy. Of course, a massive kitchen, and whatever this room is. Maybe a dining room. Here is one of the bedrooms, and then another, and another. In case you were curious about what any one of the 5 bathrooms looks like, here's one of those. And then we're back in jail. But we're not done. The best part is still to come. You just have to pick staircase number 2, which brings you down to Buffalo Bill's lair. I mean, the basement. Seriously though, did people actually swim in this? At least they have a nice sauna?
And I'll never
Both house
forget.
for 200,000, yo.
Right after that,
It's a longer clip. I don't know what this clip's about,
about a
y'all.
week
So
later, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks later, and I never forgot that part. It just stayed in my mind what the Holy Spirit had spoke to me. And about 3 weeks later, I was sitting over my mom's again, and the box came on again. And y'all probably say, why you keep watching the box? Because God told me to. There was some stuff on there that G. Craig Lewis needed to see. Now you turn it off. I don't watch it now either. But at the time, it was just, I'll never forget turning it on, and I saw something that just shocked me. And there was a guy named Snoop Dogg. Y'all seen him, right? You know, some album covers I ain't buying just because of the way some of them look. They're just ugly. You ain't got to hear the song. You just know that ain't God. You know that's the devil. I believe the devil is ugly. And he make folk ugly. Amen? And I saw this dude, and he looked crazy, and he's in this video, and the name of this video was Murder Was the Case, and it was the strangest thing because, and somebody gave me this DVD when I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, which I had been looking for it for a long time, just for investigational purposes. But this video, Snoop Dogg, Murder Was the Case, in this video, he does depict his death. He died, he was gunned down in Long Beach. And after he was gunned down, the devil came and appeared to him and made a deal with him. The devil said, I'll bring you back to life and make you rich and famous if you promise me your soul. And he made a deal with the devil. This video is his true story. He has a book about it also, where he says this is a true story.
you're like, really?
Now that's
I don't
crazy by
even know.
itself. But look at your neighbor and say, that ain't the worst part.
That ain't the worst.
What's crazy is a lot of people got to go to church to learn these things. You know what I mean? A lot of people got to go to church to learn these things, or they got to hear it from somebody with quote unquote knowledge. I don't know how to say it with how they got to go. They got to learn it from somebody. Like, let's just say I can give somebody something and they won't listen, but when they hear it from a doctor, they're like, "Oh, okay, it's true then." You know what I mean? They have to hear it from somebody like that to believe it.
The worst part is the contents of the video. Now, on the front, he has his life from 1972 through 1994. Calvin Broadus died, and basically Snoop Dogg was resurrected. Sound familiar, don't it? And he's in this video, and during this video, there is this scene where he's laying on a gurney dead. And basically, a crow flies into the room. This crow flies into the room and turns into, now, a crow. Okay, you know, a group of crows they call a murder. Okay, so a crow ain't a happy bird. Crow flies into the room, turns into Jesus Christ. Nail prints, the crown of thorns in the head, nail prints in his hand, standing there looking at Snoop like this. And then all of a sudden, Jesus turns into Satan. And there is a church choir singing the hook of this song, Murder Was the Case, that they gave me.
Crazy.
A church
I've never
choir.
even seen this
We
video.
ain't found out who it is yet, but I'm going to tell everybody once I find out. We might have to shoot this video again. because I ain't going to that church. Well, yeah, I will. I go with all this stuff and just get the, rebuking and... Okay, but anyway, church choir singing on the video. I said, oh my Lord, look, they just playing with the death of Jesus. Snoop comes out with a book where he says he is Jesus Christ. Then he's a cussing gangster in a movie called Baby Boy, and at the end, when they get ready to kill him, he said, go ahead and kill me because I've seen everything but Christ.
I am. I'm confused. Everyone sees Kat as a paragon of Hollywood truth. As big an oxymoron as that is. Everyone trusts and believes what he had to say. It's funny, it wasn't until he went and did Shay Shay that a lot of people were finally, willing to kind of say, oh man, Jag's been saying that. It's funny, because I say things and nobody believes me. I'm lying. I made it all up. I don't know anybody. I was never that much in the industry. I didn't know anybody. Nobody in the industry messes with me. I'm this, I'm that, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, yada, 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 whatever the case may be. But if somebody else says it, then it's, oh man, Jag's been said that.
I have ChatGPT, and ChatGPT can tell me the truth about the world. No. All these things are created to enslave your mind, because you have access to God. And so what they're trying to do is trick you into believing that this reality is a true reality. Because once you believe that, this reality becomes the only reality.
Yes.
Okay? Then the question is...
Ooh, I've never seen him this fired up in all lectures. He's completely right, though. He's saying, wake up! Wake up!
On your screens are not images from a post-apocalyptic film, but real footage straight from the dried-up Aral Sea. A giant sea has dried up in Kazakhstan in just 50 years, and it's the only one of the largest seas to disappear in the last 10,000 years. Just think about it. A giant sea of about 70,000 square kilometers has completely dried up, leaving behind only piles of rusty ships and landscapes like from apocalypse films. But why did this sea turn into this lifeless desert? It's because in the middle of the last century there was a trend towards cotton cultivation, and the riverbeds were simply diverted to irrigate the cotton fields. As a result, the rivers dried up and the sea, which was fed by those rivers, dried up too. But the most mysterious thing is that on the site of this dried up sea, they found these giant caterpillar traces, resemble the tracks of modern mining equipment. Except these traces, judging by their age, were left presumably 40,000 years ago by an unknown machinery. And these traces prove that we're not the first advanced civilization on Earth, but most likely all previous civilizations destroyed each other in nuclear wars.
What's that? Oh, somebody just came out talking about how when they were a child that they survived a Rothschild hunting party. What? Tell me more! Yeah, this woman just came out talking about when she was a child, she was able to survive a hunting party done by the Rothschilds. She said what happened is she was taken away as a young child and she was put in a cage underground until the hunt began. They would wait till particular days and then they would let these children out of their cages and then they would tell them to go ahead and run and hide whilst the certain people surrounded the area, the perimeter, and then started their hunt. She said it was super dark when they let him out, and when she was able to run, she actually found a tree and scaled it up high enough to where she wasn't able to be seen. And she stayed there for quite some time until this supposed hunting party diminished. She was then climbed down from the tree and was able to leave the premises, thus surviving the incident.
I've heard some crazy Will Smith stories.
Yeah.
Crazy
Me too.
Will Smith stories.
Me too.
I know a girl that told me some just hanging out, not on camera, didn't want to do an interview about it. This told me a crazy story that I'll tell you off camera. Matter of fact, can we beep it? I'll tell you and you can react to it. A poor that I know said, and she's like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Wait, there's more.
That's wicked, bro.
And this was said to me, this was not clout chasing. This was just a personal conversation she told me while we're hanging out.
So
now she didn't go.
That's what I was going to say. So she said that but she didn't participate. See, I don't know about that. Like, you gotta, I mean, like I said, anything's possible. This
was this was like 10 years ago, this conversation.
This is Hollywood. I mean, and then based off of some of Jada's antics, you know, who she even chose that we know about.
Yeah.
He's gay.
Yeah, August Alsina.
He's a gay man.
Like gay now. He's got a boyfriend and everything.
So he didn't just turn gay. He's been into that.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
And he was her son's friend.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not putting nothing past none of these widows.
Massive regional war in the Middle East, if not a third world war. The largest movement of American military hardware since 2003, the Iraq invasion, is now in or steaming toward the Persian Gulf off Iran. There are a lot of reasons not to do this. The first being, most Americans don't want it. Trump cares about what people think, and he's willing to listen to almost anybody. So why would he even be considering a war with Iran? Well, one way to think about it is the United States may not have a choice about whether or not this war starts. Because, of course, the government of Benjamin Netanyahu could always act unilaterally, preemptively against Iran. Just strike Iran. What would happen then? Well, most likely the Iranians would strike Israel and then potentially strike American assets in the Gulf and then potentially strike energy facilities in the Gulf. And the United States would be, by definition, drawn in. So it's possible that the U.S. government is trying to find a way to contain the behavior of its closest ally, Israel. It's possible.
It didn't age well, did it? That did not age well. Now we're going to get into some Iran stuff. Now, this video was supposed to be uploaded yesterday, and I didn't upload a video yesterday. So these clips were found Friday, Saturday. So some of the news is old, y'all. So I apologize. This is a couple days old worth of clips. And when you're doing these videos, you got to do them quick because the news is just constantly changing.
Jimmy Hoffa was picked up in a burgundy Buick. He never left the car. I know for a fact the axle and the engine block was taken out, and they'll never find Jimmy Hoffa. The friction of that heat, he came out to be a 2x4 block of steel. The friction heat got rid of all the DNA. And the FBI, every time they want their budget, we found more evidence. We're going to go dig up this for 6 months. Get out of here.
Because I've been interviewed Michael Franzese a couple times, and he's always said that Frank Sheeran did not kill Jimmy Hoffa.
No. And he didn't kill Joe Gallo either. A kid from the neighborhood called the club. The only reason Joe Gallo just left us at the Copa was Costello owned the Copa. I used to hang out there a lot. And he came to see Don Rickles. He was there with Jerry Orbach, his wife, Joe's wife, and him. They normally go to Mott Street, number 14, but there was nobody in the business. They closed it. So Orbach says to him, let's go to Umberto's. He didn't know Joe Gallo couldn't go on the street. So they went. Who's going to be there at 3 o'clock in the morning? Pinto sees him in there. He calls the club. O'Neill's down there. He was the street boss. And he says, you ain't going to believe who's on the block. He says, can I make my bones? I'll kill him. Let's go ahead and kill him. And he did.
Okay, guys, pretty crazy breaking news. The president and CEO of the World Economic Forum has just resigned after the organization launched an investigation into his ties with, you guessed it, Jeffrey Epstein. Man, do you know what that means? That means in the last week alone, not Prince Andrew, arrested, Lord Mandelson in the UK, arrested, Bill Gates formally apologized to his staff at the foundation and admitted 2 affairs with Russian women. Larry Summers, he just announced yesterday that he too will resign after Harvard launched an investigation into his ties with Epstein. Nobel Prize winner and leading molecular biologist Richard Axel, he also announced yesterday that he too was resigning. Bill and Hillary Clinton are having to testify in front of Congress today and tomorrow on their ties with Epstein. A couple of days ago, a legal review was just ordered into the president of Bard College, and then today, the head of the WEF, which is widely considered one of the most influential organizations around the world, also gone. And that is just 1 week. That's crazy.
And you hear nothing about this on mainstream media. They're silencing it. And I wonder why when you turn on the TV, all they're talking about, it started off with Minnesota, Guthrie. Now what are they talking about? Iran. Epstein's silent, y'all. They're saying nothing about that. Not nothing.
City, one of the weirdest cities I've ever been to. This city is located in Malaysia and it's completely abandoned. This city was built in 2016 and cost over $100 billion to build. So I went to go check it out, and when I was walking on the beaches, it just didn't make sense to me why no one would live here. I even tried to spend the night at their best hotel, but nobody was there to even check me in. So I did some more exploring around the city, and it just felt so eerie and weird to not see any cars on the street, and these beautiful homes completely empty. It honestly felt like I was in the TV show The Walking Dead. Another thing that I noticed is that there's security guards everywhere here, and they don't like it when you film. And I got really weirded out because I asked the security guard why there's nobody here, and he told me that there was a lot of people here and he sees people all the time. I don't know, it almost felt like they were trying to hide something, and something just felt very odd here. Comment below what you think about this city, and if you know anything more about this place and why it's abandoned, please let me know because I'm really curious. And also, if you do happen to come here, don't jump in the water like I did, because apparently there's huge sea crocodiles everywhere here.
Empezar a la guerra contra el narco no es opción. No es opción. Primero, porque está fuera del marco de la ley. Todos estos de la derecha que se llenan la boca de las palabras Estado de Derecho y defienden la guerra contra el narco. La guerra contra el narco está fuera de la ley porque, como lo dije o lo he dicho en varias ocasiones, es permiso para matar.
Think about how insane that statement is from the president of Mexico. Cartel is literally fighting her military and police right now. They're also burning down Costco's and cars. They are storming the airport, taking people hostage, having shootouts all over the place, killing people all over the place. That's happening right now. And what does she say? Oh, hey, yeah, it wouldn't be good to fight back with more violence. Basically telling them that they're not going to do anything. How insane is that? Her citizens, her society is being attacked with ruthless violence right now. And undoubtedly, there are her police officers and military members being murdered right now by that. And she's basically saying, we're not going to do anything. So love him or hate him. You think Trump would ever stand for that or say anything like that? That is right there across our border, right there. That is insane.
You think of it like this, y'all. We in America are supposed to be like, let's say, the cartel, right? We're supposed to run the government. We're supposed to tell the government what to do. You don't tell us to pay 50%, 30% in taxes. We only pay 5%. But they have been doing it for so long that we let them do what they do. Same thing over there. The cartel have been running it for so long. Trump's not supposed to tell us what to do. We're supposed to tell them what to do. We're supposed to tell them we're not going to war with Iran. Let's hold a vote in the streets. Do the people want that? We're the ones that pay you guys. You don't pay us, we pay you. We're going to hold a vote in the street with the people. Do we want a war with Iran? 99% of the people said no. So there's no war. That's how it is in Mexico, y'all. The cartel has been running that show for so long that this Mexican president just can't, as bad as it sounds, that's how it is. The same here. But people like him are so out of touch that they think that's just the normal, just like out there, y'all. That's just the normal. That's how it's been since that lady since forever out there. Same out here, right? That's why our forefathers made all these rules, all these declarations and all that, so that they don't do what they're doing now. And that's what they're doing. Our forefathers are turning in their graves because of what they're doing to us.
Get down to the dungeon.
We're Trump set for this. Fuck out of here.
I'm about to risk it. Sneak in there. We snuck into the crypt.
Said no
What's
wars.
the one conspiracy that I believe in? I believe that elements of the CIA were involved in the killing of John Kennedy. I believe elements of the Israeli government were involved in the killing of John Kennedy.
Really?
I do.
Against the Israelis. Which part, which element puts it together?
I was waiting for the president to declassify all of the remaining JFK documents. Right?
Yes.
He said he did.
Uh-huh.
He didn't.
Not all of it, yeah.
No. There's still several thousand pages. And I'm told that they point directly at the Israelis.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
Oh my gosh, bro.
In the order. This is right after the buildings fell. This has been the plan the whole time.
Finishing off with Iran. Back to we want that vote in the street. Before we go, Mr. Trump wouldn't stand for that. Before we go, Mr. Trump, we want to vote in the streets and we want proof that they have weapons of mass destruction. You fooled us once in 2001, 2003. This time, we the people, we want proof that they got those weapons before we go and sacrifice our young 18-year-olds, our kids, right? Bran ain't out there, right? Before we go do that, we want proof. And if you can't do that, we ain't sending them out there.
Why do you
makes me mad, y'all?
I have no confidence in the justice.
People bow down to
We have
these
a
damn
two-tier system of
politicians. They're
justice in
crooks.
America. We have one for the rich and powerful. We have one for everybody else.
They know Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. That's the only reason they're comfortable attacking them.
See what I'm
Because they
saying?
know Iran cannot attack back with nuclear weaponry. And they arrogantly thought their Iron Dome was going to protect them. But it literally collapsed within 24 hours. A lot of people may have seen earlier videos where a whole bunch of Iran's weapons were being intercepted by the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome, by the way, actually shoots a missile up to intercept and blow up other missiles. But what they didn't get is that Iran was intentionally sending old missiles to wear out, to use up the defense. And once they felt like they had sufficiently worn down the defenses of the Iron Dome, then they started unleashing the heavy duty stuff. And Iran has hypersonic missiles. And I don't know if you've seen one of those on video. It is insane how fast they come in. You're not getting out of the way of a hypersonic missile. You may be able to see some other type of missile up in the air heading your way. You run for the hills. You're not running from a hypersonic missile. As fast as you see it, it's there. It travels faster than the speed of sound. So it hits you before you even hear it coming. They've also unleashed a new type of weaponry that we've never even seen before. Hey Siri, how many missiles does Iran have? It's going to be in the thousands. 3,000 ballistic missiles. They're going to level Israel like a parking lot.
It's over. We apparently blew that old guy up. He gone. The Ayatollah, Khamenei, he's dead. I think it's pretty obvious. Rip Bozo, right?
We found this geography book, and it's from the year 1886. It says, the conditions of society. Nations and tribes may be divided in respect to their social condition into 5 classes: savage, barbarous, half-civilized, civilized, and enlightened. Savages are those who live in tribes and obtain their food by hunting and fishing. Barbarians are those who possess flocks and herds and practice rude agriculture. Those who live in tents, like the Bedouin Arabs, are called nomads. Half-civilized nations are those that depend chiefly upon agriculture, have made considerable advance in the mechanic arts, and have towns and cities. Civilized nations are those that engage in commerce, practice the art of writing, and have made considerable progress in knowledge and morality. Enlightened nations, like us, I guess, are those civilized nations that possess a thorough division of labor, have established general systems of education, and have made the greatest progress in knowledge and morality. Many nations are partly in 2 or more of these classes. The enlightened and civilized nations are nearly all Caucasian! What? Would also like to point out that it's got all the different kinds of government, and communism is not one of them.
Okay guys, Iran is now being hit with a major wave of cyber attacks following the initial strikes from the US and Israel. So it looks like it's an attack from multiple different angles. In fact, one of Iran's apps for tracking prayer times has been hacked, and it started sending Iranian citizens notifications like help has arrived and it's the time for reckoning. On top of that, a number of Iran's state news broadcasters are also being hacked, and they are currently down. Now, this could certainly cause confusion, as you'd imagine, from the public wanting to know what the hell is going on, but their news source is inaccessible, and it could also potentially drive the people of Iran to look for other news sources to find out, potentially ones outside of the country. A lot of developments coming in right now, so make sure you follow. I'll keep you guys updated.
Okay, how am I just finding this out now? Did you know that in 1998, a Simpsons episode came out called The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, Season 10, Episode 2. He writes on a chalkboard a formula no one really thought anything of, and this little Easter egg went unnoticed. Then, almost a decade and a half later, CERN, which definitely doesn't have 666 in their logo, comes out and discovers the God particle, the Higgs boson particle. Now, this is apparently a pretty big deal, namely because they spent $13.25 billion to find it. Except 14 years before that, Simpsons wrote it on the chalkboard of this episode. Now, I've heard some wild Simpsons predictions. They're not really predictions, they're telling you what's going on. But this one is strange because if the connotation is that they knew what it was already, then what did they spend $13.25 billion on?
So China just leaked this picture of one of our carriers near Iran. Look how many jets there are on this thing. It's almost overflowing at this point.
This is not Jeff Bezos. This is an imposter. He looks nothing like him. He sounds nothing like him. Of course, he's deeply involved with the government. I'll be right back.
It is committed to supporting national security to, through, and from space. The systems we're building today provide the asymmetrical advantages that America needs to lead. Every system we deliver.
Sorry about that low quality audio. People keep putting like dumb sounds over people speaking, so it makes it difficult to hear him. I assure you, I have both versions. It did not affect his voice. You can go watch it yourself. Now listen to him speak right here, not too long ago.
Modern AI is a horizontal enabling layer. It can be used to improve everything. It will.
Back to Exhibit A.
Agree. Blue Origin is committed to supporting national security.
People noticed when I saw that video right at the bat, it was not him. I mean, look at this. And of course, the Bezos that we know. For instance, his left ear had a significant flop. His face was much longer. No ear flop. So who the heck is this? People are being replaced at astonishing frequencies. And don't give me the age or the plastic surgery. It doesn't change your skull shape.
When you start making enough money, you can start talking about moving civilization from Earth to another planet if you start making enough money, and nobody bats an eye about it. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you made it this far, you know what to do. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, y'all. I wasn't gonna do another video today, y'all. It's just ups and downs, y'all, and it happens. They come and go in waves, y'all, and the past couple days we've been going through it down, y'all. But you know, I sat here for about 5 minutes with the setup all on, lights all on, and I hit record, and I'm glad I did, y'all. My day got better and I feel good. I'm glad I did it. And now I'm ready to get my day going. The baby's about to fall asleep, so I'm gonna go get my speakers installed now. And today my doors don't lock on my vehicle, y'all, so I had to buy all new actuators. I don't think I need new actuators. I think it's just I don't know what they're called, but like the wires that connect to the actuators that have like the little ball joints, and maybe the motors. So I bought everything though. I bought the actuators, I bought the wires, I bought the motors. So whatever I don't need is just gonna get returned. So there's a guy that does them, you know, down in the hood. So I'm gonna go down there, but everything gets delivered today. So maybe tomorrow or Thursday I'll go take them back and take it to get all installed, y'all. And then I want to get a nice little lift and some tires on my car, and then my vehicle should be good. A little tune up, and it should last another 100,000 miles, y'all. No car payment, nothing, and I'll be loving what I'm driving, y'all. So working on my vehicle and getting it fixed up to my liking, y'all. But that's the plan today. Go get my speakers installed, and then ask this guy about if he can put my lift on, and and put my tires on and maybe buy my tires from him if it'll be cheaper than going to like a discount tire or something. So that's the plan today, y'all. Hope everyone out there has a good day. I'm gonna get out of here. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Later.